I think I've been talking to myself for a short bit, like 25 seconds, probably 30 seconds. Um, so since this was live streaming, you will be able to watch that. You'll be like, is my audio working? Um, how is everybody? Happy Monday. Um, who's excited for Market Connect? Who's excited for our product launch in October? Okay, I see some hands. I want to see some emotion. Some exciting things have happened today. We've learned that one of our Pro 10s, Tyler Daniels, and since he put this out on his public feed, I can share it. But Tyler Daniels, one of our Pro 10s, has lost in 5 weeks 23 pounds. And he did not make a lifestyle change. He did not start exercising. He did not start intermittent fasting. He didn't change what he was eating or drinking. I share that with you guys to just build some belief, create some excitement. How neat. You know, what is that? That's 4 pounds a week on average. Can you imagine if after 2 weeks of taking our product, people that you know, family members, friends, after 2 weeks, 8 pounds? Could you imagine what the conversation would look like? What sharing this with friends, you know, having referrals, share it with referrals, that kind of thing. It would be wild. And we're talking more about this vanity wellness. Of course, we're most excited about what's happening inside of our bodies and getting that to a better place. But how neat to be able to do that and provide an exterior image, an example to people that gets a conversation started. You think about being in Messenger, you think about being at family events, sporting events, those kinds of things. You absolutely, once you hit the 5 pound range, and I'm speaking out of my own experience, once you hit the 5 pound range, definitely the 10 pound range, people notice and people comment. And that means that they're going to start the conversation. And I think it's a great opportunity. We're talking about it all the time. We're talking about different things that we can do to create action now. So I think this might be a little bit redundant, but I want to make sure that it's just clear. I think there's 3 waves. Okay, there is a wave right now that any work and effort that we do from right now up until the launch, we don't have a product to sell yet, but we're educating, we're creating the excitement, we're dripping. That's wave number 1. And as many people as we can get in wave number 1 interested into our prospecting group, Achieving Wellness Together, into Facebook Messenger and having active conversations over the next 6 weeks, anything that we do there absolutely is going to multiply at 2 times or even 3 times. What I mean by that is the people who we get at the front end that get on the product right away absolutely are going to refer at least 2 or 3 people. It's just going to happen. So do you want 2 people after these next 6 weeks? Do you want 2 people on your list that will turn into 6? Or do you want 20 people on your list that's going to turn into 60? If you're not thinking about that right now, please start. And that's coming from a heart spot. We're absolutely growing the person. That's what Achieving Wellness for. We're educating the individual. We're not just talking about weight loss. We're talking about other things. And so we get to do that so well because we're pouring into them. We can easily make that list from 2 people to 20 people, from 6 after the fact to 60. I'm having conversations with individuals on this team privately. They're calling, they're texting, what do you think about this? How do I do this? What can I do differently? Talking about achieving wellness, all those different kinds of things. If you haven't reached out to one of us, you're in your upline, one of your leaders, please do, and just start that conversation to make sure that every I is dotted, every T is crossed. And I'm speaking from the heart here. There is a point in October, if you're at Market Connect, where you're going to see a lot of excitement. It's going to be one of the most exciting events you've ever been to. If you've not been to one, what an incredible first one to go to. I don't want you sitting there wishing I had said something different, I'd been more clear. I want you to fully know what we're trying to put into place right now so that after the next 6 weeks, you're not looking back wishing something different. Okay, it's easy to should ourselves. I remember a pastor preaching this like 10 years ago. And we got to stop being the people that should on ourselves. I should have done this. I should have done this. That is not life-giving. It does not impact any form of change. Let's proactively reach out in the next 6 weeks and build this instead of reactively looking back saying, all my energy is going back to, I wish I'd done more. I hope I'm clear on that. So we're always talking about it. Reach out. Let's have conversations. Let's brainstorm how we can do this. So I'll go back to the 3 waves. That's wave number 1. Wave number 2 is then those individuals getting on the product. And in week 1 and week 2, having incredible results. Getting those before and afters, moving into 30 days, maybe even moving into 60 days. The timing for this from a calendar perspective is incredible. And what I mean by that is October it releases, November is month 2, and December they're going into month 3. It's wild the conversations that can happen at New Year's and at Christmas because you're going to be able to see the results in the individual. And that's where that multiplier is going to happen again, 2 times, 3 times. And the conversation at Christmas, at New Year's is my new me. What am I doing for New Year's goals? How am I changing? And if we can be at the center of that conversation as LifeVantage, as a GLP-1 activator, with all these great testimonies and before and afters, oh my goodness, that's wave 3. So wave 1's right now for the next 6 weeks. Waves 2 is getting those people on the product in the 30 and the 60 and the 90 days, before and afters and instant testimonies and building that excitement. And then wave 3 is, oh my goodness, late December, early January, we're at the center of every conversation, and it's bonkers, from there. Think of your experience. I want to see who I have on this call right now. Think of your experience in LifeVantage to date. And I love this experience. And Amy and I had a little back and forth about this last night, and it brought her to an emotion. And she had tears in her eyes on it. And I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, yes, we're educating into people, but we're not going to have to talk about oxidative stress. We're not going to have to talk about catalase. We're not going to have to talk about free radicals. People are literally going to say, give me the phone number to get in contact so I can place the order. And I was having that conversation with Amy, and Amy's like, but I love the part of getting at the root cause. Getting at the root cause of what people are going through and impacting change on their lives. And I don't want to ever move away from that. We're not moving away from that. But what this allows us to do is when they can impact change or see change in their life and we can impact them, they're more open to hearing about these other things in their lives based off of the conversation and the results that they're experiencing on this product. I just think the education part is going to be much easier, and it's going to feel different for you guys. We need to stick to the core. We need to still do third party calls. We still need to do in-home meetings. Still need to show up on Zooms. We've been preparing all of this time for that. And we're consistent and we're doing those daily activities. We're doing those weekly activities. Guys, we have been trained for a moment such as this. I'm looking at every one of you. Every one of you have done a certain amount of time. Some of you have been 7 years, some of you have been 5 years, some of you have been the last 6 months. But you know what the cadence looks like, and you've been prepared for something like this. So, achieving wellness together. I encourage you on your warmest market of getting people in there as soon as possible. I love your guys' assistance in the engagement and being in the comments and sharing your own insights. That is building the community. Getting those people in there so that referrals invite referrals. And then when I talk about those different phases, people start posting their results, of which they will, because they will be so excited. We have now already fundamentally created a group that we're just going to be able to add to and foster multiple relationships at once because of the community. So instead of every one of us being siloed in our own business with our own people, I've got my 3, I've got my 10. No, we have our 300, our 400. And that makes it more manageable for you. It makes it more manageable for me. And that is I think that's a really exciting opportunity there. So I want to set the baseline for what we've been doing. Achieving Wellness Together is only 2 weeks old. We're at 104, maybe 105 individuals in there. What every person gets, and I want you to hear me, and if you're watching on the replay or if you're catching it on Facebook Live, would you leave a comment? It'd be really great to see that you guys are seeing this. Wow, doing that, I just lost my train of thought. Guys, help me out. Seriously, where was I? Somebody unmute. I was at Achieving Wellness Together, what we're doing for them, okay? So you invite them to the group, we approve them, and some of you, Chelsea's been really great about just instant tag in the welcome video. Awesome, Chelsea. But Amy and I, once we approve, we instantly tag in that welcome video as well. So they're seeing that right away, this introduction to the group. Here's our promise to you. This is the community that we're building. Once we've done that, then we also send them a private message. Private message is a sincere welcome. And the reason why we do that in Messenger is if we're engaged in conversation there, then it's going to, because we're also linked to Achieving Wellness Together, it's going to put Achieving Wellness at the front of their page faster and more consistently because we engage privately in the Messenger. And it's more authentic. It's called authentic reach out. That's why we're in Messenger as well. People are answering the questions on the front end, but people also are missing the questions. Life's busy. They're sitting in the Target parking lot. They're at the Iowa State Fair. You know something? It's not an excuse. They just missed it. And so our second is, hey, we noticed that you weren't able to answer the questions. We know life's busy, but we developed content based off of this. If we sent them to you one more time, would you answer them? Absolutely. Please send them to me. I'm sorry I missed them. You know, that kind of thing. That's authentic reach out. We're not trying to position anything. We're not even, we're just reaching out, asking, why are you here and what's important to you? And so that's creating that. So they're getting a personal message. They're getting a welcome video. And then from there, we encourage them. If the conversation continues to go on, we encourage them to introduce themselves. We're a little light on introductions. I think the introductions really create the community. So as much as you can encourage, if you have like really warm prospects, like they're your best friend or they're your mother, would you encourage that behavior? Hey, now that you're in the group, would you introduce yourself? Quick caveat, in an introduction, I don't want to talk about LifeVantage products. I don't want to talk about the LifeVantage company. I want our welcomes to just be our authentic selves. Like, this is me, this is my family, this has been maybe my journey in health to date. Here's some things I enjoy to do. Here's what I do for work, that kind of thing. Just that authentic creation of the community and know, like, was that a sale? Was that a drip? What was? No, it's just, this is me. And that's what we want to encourage there. So where do you guys come in post what I just described to you? And that is engagement in the lives. and bringing content to Amy and I, if you want to spotlight something that you've learned that we can bring into that group, being in those comments like you guys have done so well, liking, hearting the posts, so that more emotions that go into that, once again, brings it in front of people's head when they're scrolling on Facebook, and we can consistently stay in front of them. We're going to jump into the social media side. We've all done some incredible invitation posts. That's why we're here, with 104 people in it. We will do multiple cycles of invitation posts. And about every fifth, once again, you don't have to be perfect. You know your audience better. You're seeing them engage. But I think right about every fifth should be an invitation post said in many different ways into our group, right? So you're not going to stop with just one invitation post. That's my crew. Hope it grows. No, you're going to consistently do that. And Amy and I talked about this earlier today. You've heard it before, but you've got to make sure your network's getting bigger and bigger, and you're not just inviting the same people over and over and over and over and over. Add 3 people, go to the common friends, go find it, go and invite them. 3 to 5 people a day. That means by the end of a week, you're in front of, if you've invited 5, you're in front of 35 different people, newer people, and that database is continuing to grow, and you can begin to attract them. Lori's been doing such a great job, and it's just wild the engagement that she gets with these simple posts on. Lori, unmute for a quick sec. What was your post today? What's something that you learned is not good for you, or so? I'll let you go.
Yeah, it was the one I think a few other people have done too, but
Yeah.
what's something you used to love but that you gave up because it's unhealthy?
Yep. That's right. Awesome. And how many is it up to right now? I mean, where are you at on it?
I think like 35 comments now, or yep, something like that.
Great. Awesome. Amy, I'm going to send you a text. Will you take that graphic and put it in the chat, please, since you're on your phone?
Yeah, and I wanted to say something. You mentioned adding new friends on Facebook. You said that?
I did.
Okay, I want to just elaborate a little bit on that, because a lot of people are like, who do I add? Well, here's a couple of tips. Because you guys, it's crazy wild how you can, when you're scrolling, if you see people you may know or suggested friends on Facebook, go through that list once a day and just pick out 1 or 2 people. I try to be really intentional at first to make sure they're not in LifeVantage, because we don't want to be just friend requesting LifeVantage, right? And then I look into I might be connected to a newer person in my circle, and Facebook will recognize that and they'll suggest their friends. And so I'll try to find people that have an interest in health. I'll look at their post and I'm like, I really like that person. I'll find something in common with that person. But another really great one, and this is something that Lori Kopp also has a great example of, being in groups that you love. I told Fonda, join a group on equine therapy or horses or rodeos, something in the equine industry, and join a group on with personal fitness and trainers, people that are collaborating in there, and just start we're doing in the group that we are doing. Just start hopping in that group and adding value, commenting on people, building relationships in there. And then when you have a comment on somebody's post, you can go friend request them and say, I really like what you said in that group. And then you had a reason to friend request them. Your database can explode if you do this, guys. And I just want you to not be speaking to the same people, but start making authentic connections. And that's part of the Eric Worre challenge that you guys have been seeing, of starting 100 new conversations. It can be authentic by just getting in those groups and starting conversations and adding friend requests and growing your database.
Awesome. Amy, can you post that graphic in the chat, please? Okay. So there is a little bit of fatigue, I imagine, where it's what am I going to post on social media today? Yesterday's post was so good. I got so much engagement. I don't know. How do I not sound like a repeating drum or whatever with the same post every time? So I have a graphic that I'll share with you guys from Bob Healy and his Love Surf Grow. It's 9 squares that give an opportunity of just a memory jogger. Like, hey, here's a post I could make today. Here's a post I could make tomorrow. And they're all 9 different. So you're not going to sound like a repeating drum. We're also going to drop that in Guide 16 in Team Upward. So Guide 16 is our example post where we've had some really great engagement so far. And so we're keeping that as kind of a library for you to go back and see how you can, in your own words, duplicate that.
I can't get that to post in this chat. So can I just go into the Guide 16 and add that to the, okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay. So let me read it off just so you guys have an idea of the, no. Hey, there we go. So it looks like this, 9 squares. And it says, ask for a recommendation for something. Simple as that. Ask for a recommendation of something. Share a lesson you learned recently. Give a guilty pleasure. Show your audience your workspace and explain it to them. Share a personal experience overcoming struggle. I'll stop reading those, but that's what you guys can find. Those are some great engagement posts there. That will be found in Guide 16. All right, so our next live is Joanne Shearparkin on Wednesday at noon, and it's going to be the gut and GLP-1. Joanne is a wealth of knowledge. We've known her for the last 7 or 8 years, since the beginning. She is our direct, upline past even Shauna Michelle. But there's a shareable inside of Achieving Wellness Together. That is a great invitation post. If you take that graphic that has Joanna and it has the date and the time and everything, that's a great invitation post. If you do something about the gut and its impact or how it relates to you, or maybe a little bit of your testimony, and you post an invitation into Achieving Wellness Together and you put the graphic, that's a great invitation post that we've seen some success on. So don't hesitate if you're like, I don't know what I'm going to use for my next post, use Joanne. And it's such an easy entrance into the group, because somebody is going to be like, hey, I'd like to watch that. And so you're not inviting, hey, can I add you to a group? It's, hey, I'd really like to watch that. Awesome. I'm going to add you to the group where it is. And it kind of moves across any oh, I don't need another group, or, any type of awkwardness or sales resistance that way. It's a really simple way. Okay, now I'm going to move into a different part. What are comments? Where's the noise? Where's the, yeah. Yeah, that's what I expected. No?
Yeah.
There it is. I was on pitch too. That was a perfect pitch match. Anybody else? Any comments? Any thoughts?
I have comments and thoughts.
Yep. Okay, next.
Talking about content. I don't know. Can you talk a little bit more about the 4 categories? Did you mention that clearly?
So I'm not unpacking the 4 categories tonight.
Okay.
But I'd love to do that
One
soon.
thing that I think is important is, you guys may not believe it, but people seeing your face on Facebook is actually kind of a good thing. Like, you may not like to show your face or take pictures of yourself, but and I don't like it when people are like every day, like I don't like that. But I love it when there's people who I know aren't all about themselves that once in a while show up on Facebook and I get to see their beautiful face. And it makes me connect to them even more. Because I'll tell you, there's people that stop me and they're seeing my face on Facebook, but I've never seen theirs. And I have no idea who they are. And so if you want to be somebody that people know who you are, once in a while, you need to show up. And so I would say at least once this week, show your face, right? And when you're talking about this content, I think that having authentic conversations can be had when you make a post. So I just think that sometimes we overthink it, and it's really, oh, this is such a good picture. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, I was like, I need the time, but you're just like, da, 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 da. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Amy. I agree. You have a beautiful face. Write those columns down at the top if you would. Start left to right. So go product, feature, problem, benefit, impact. And unfortunately, I didn't save enough time to go through this or do this what it's worth, but I'm going to try to get your mind thinking. And I'm at fault for this as well. And Amy and I have some great conversations about it. We're really good about talking about features. We're really good about talking about Nerf 2. I think we're pretty good about talking about people with their problems. But we need to work on benefits and impact. And of all of this, we need to really work on the impact because that's where the magic happens. So this is an exercise where you move left to right, defining what product are you going to talk about, what's a feature of the product, what's a problem that the product solves, when the solving happens, what's the benefit, and then where's the impact to my life? And what's really neat is that impact is different for every person. Wild. So if we were to put product in there, I'm going for a softball tonight, hit a home run, hit it out of the park. Let's put collagen in as a product. So write collagen. I know I've got 3 minutes. So collagen's there under product. What's a feature of the collagen? So this could be a unique ingredient. This could be, let's just keep it at ingredients. And if you think of other features, the glass bottle's really neat. I think you could talk about the glass bottle, recycling, talk about the glass bottle from there's no fusion of plastics. You could talk about the glass bottle and how it's dark so the sun isn't penetrating. That's all a feature of collagen. Okay, so Amy, thank you. There's 10 different peptides, it's hydrolyzed, all those things, but just choose one. See, and I get excited, just choose one because it's going to create days worth of content if you just choose one and really unpack it, really hit it home. So it's collagen as a product. The feature is red quinoa extract. That's an ingredient in our collagen. Okay, what's the problem? Inflammation. What's the problem? Creaky joints. What's the problem? Bone-on-bone impact. Okay, I think we could go on problems forever and ever and ever. Then benefit. Rochelle, I'll come to you. Amy, answer Rochelle's question. If you don't know the answer, I'll come to it. Let's come to the benefit. Okay, because I don't have creaky joints, I can go on walks after dinner. Because I don't have bone-on-bone impact, I can get on the floor with my grandchildren. Because my inflammation has gone down, I can fit my wedding ring on. Whatever it is, what's the benefit? And then this is where there's so much value that I think we're missing. And once again, I'm in your boat with you. What's the impact to this person's life now that they're experiencing that benefit? Okay, I can get on the floor with my grandchildren. Therefore, they're remembering me better as an active grandmother. I can go on the walk after supper. I'm able to digest my food better because I can go on that walk. I'm able to have a dedicated time to have a conversation with my spouse. I'm able to be out in God's nature and enjoy instead of worrying about the pain. The impact is really where we need to drive the attention to the people that we're having the conversation with. How is this going to impact and change their lives? Not just from not a side effect, not from an ailment perspective, but taking it one step further. And now that that ailment is reduced, what are you able to do? And help them dream. You don't have to be 100% accurate. You have to help them dream. So Rochelle, you asked the question, do you put this in a whole post or that kind of thing? I'd say it's more of, let's see, what was the note, Amy? The hook is always the problem. So when you do a social media post, start with the let it be the first line all by itself so that people are hooked. The hook is always the problem. And so what did we say the problem was? You could have bone on bone, contact in my knee or in my shoulder or whatever is driving me crazy. Oh, I have that as well. That's driving me crazy. What else do they have to say about it? That's the hook. Get excited with it. Hit the problem up and down. And then with that, you can highlight the features, but you can jump into the benefit and then in the impact, help them dream a little bit. And I wouldn't make a product post. I would pique their interest enough or have a call to action in it. Okay? At the end, a clear call to action that then gets people asking me about the product. Tell me more about this. And then you take it to Messenger. You take it to text message. I'm 1 minute past. I know Jill is on the other line leading tonight, so we should jump there. She's going to have some great value. I'm sorry you couldn't unpack this further. I hope I gave you enough. We'll come back to it, but really wrestle with those 5 right there. And I think it's going to change some things and really guide our conversations. When we're talking to people, let's really talk about the benefits and really about the impacts of how it's going to change their life. All right, we'll see you guys on the other line. Thanks so much.